Today, we're gonna compare the cameras on the Pixel 8 Pro versus the Galaxy S23 Plus. So with the front-facing camera, I noticed the Pixel 8 Pro still has some issues with the darker spots, like the shadows, where it can still be very noisy. Now moving on to the back cameras, both have their own differences. I would say the Pixel 8 Pro, majority of the time, looks pretty neutral, like nothing really pops, the browns are brown, and the grays are more closer to gray, which some people will like that look just because they don't want anything that looks too over-processed. Whereas on a Samsung, it's very saturated, things do pop a lot more. So for example, the browns, the reds, the blues, so putting them side by side, your eyes would probably look at the Galaxy much more quicker or first than the Pixel. And I always say the pictures coming from the Galaxy are ready to share online or on your socials just because they just capture a lot more attention with the colors. Since they both have telephoto lenses, the Galaxy goes straight to 3x and the Pixel goes to 5x. And I do prefer the 5x just because I can get closer really quick, and those more zoomed in pictures tend to look cleaner. Now zooming all the way up to 30x, they both are very different. I would say the Pixel has more of a softer, natural look to it, whereas on a Galaxy, it seems pretty digitized and a bit over-processed. Sometimes that shows even more noise. So yes, it is cleaner or looks sharper, but to me, I do prefer, or I'm leaning towards the Pixel look. Now during daytime, they both look very good. I would say the quality is pretty similar like most phones out there. It all comes down to what color you like. If you want something more neutral, nothing too crazy, versus something very saturated and poppy, which looks very good if you like to take a lot of pictures of food. Now for a low light on a Pixel, since it's more neutral looking photos, it just tends to be slightly darker than a Galaxy, but there will be random times where the HDR really kicks in and it looks brighter. Now when I'm taking pictures in low light situations, for the most part I am most comfortable using the Pixel just because it feels a lot snappier and the whole post-processing takes care of it for the most part, so I do have a lot of trust in that. On a Galaxy, you do feel that slight pause after you press the shutter button, so I tend to double check more of my photos during nighttime just to see if the pictures aren't too blurry. Now if you really care about the 30x during nighttime, that's when I would choose the Galaxy just because of the over sharpening that really helps with the photo. But sometimes the Pixel 8 Pro does manage to look better than the Galaxies. For portrait mode is pretty zoomed in on a Pixel straight from the start, so you do get the more portrait background where it's more compressed. You also get 2x, which isn't too far from 1.5, so looking between the two, it's not like a huge difference, so I would always just stick with the 1.5. On S23 Plus, you get the traditional 1x, 2x, 3x, which the 1x is pretty wide, so it can be useful when you're in tight situations or if you're just sitting across the table to take a picture of somebody. And of course, the colors still do pop a lot more on a Galaxy. As you can tell, my skin pops, the background of the green grass really pops out. So again, it's really up to you and which one you prefer. Now for video, I would say the Pixel 8 Pro has really improved from the last year's model, and you can't really see as much noise in the shadows during daytime. Both of their stabilization is pretty good, but when I'm panning, there are random times I notice on a Pixel where it stutters or it kind of lags. And for the colors, it's slightly different. Sometimes in the shadows, the Galaxy can look a bit too blue or too green. And on a Pixel, most of the time, it seems like it's on a warmer-ish look. And then I tried recording on this telephoto lens, and obviously the 3x is a lot smoother and you can see a lot less micro jitters. Moving on to low light with the ultra wide camera lens, both are not that great, but I would say the Galaxy still looks a little bit cleaner. On the regular wide lens, they both look pretty similar, but I think the stabilization is a bit more stable on S23 Plus. So let me know your thoughts between these two and which one you would prefer. I'm just gonna end it off with some selfies here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.